drop me in the deep end of the pool and make me swim. So I understand that. I don't hate him for what he did. So at that time, I walked into the Presbyterian Night Shelter of the PNS on June 1st of 2006. And JPS is not known for keeping track of your things, so I was blind because they lost my glasses that Jennifer placed on my face when I was put on the gurney. And so I literally spent the first about 3 months of my time at PNS blind. I would walk out on the patio, and if my friends were not wearing the same clothes, I didn't know who they were. They'd have to actually call me or wave me over for me to be able to know where they were. It was not easy. I literally walked into the shelter the first day, and I walked up to somebody and said, look, I can't see, I don't have my glasses on, I don't have my contacts, and I need help. I've never been here before, I have no idea what to do. And this really sweet lady took me to a mat, gave me a blanket, and then helped me out, and it just went from there. I spent, I don't know exactly how long, probably about a year and a half at the Presbyterian Night Shelter. I was on what they call intake, where I check the bags when people come in at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, make sure there's no weapons, no food, stuff like that. And then I ended up becoming an actual paid worker, because intake, all you get is your bed and your locker. I became a paid worker, and I was a receptionist at the Women and Children's Building that's across the street. I only did that for about 3 months because I made a mistake due to an ex-boyfriend. I won't go into that. Then I ended up getting barred from the PNS probably about a year later. I ended up getting barred from the PNS because some friends of mine had told me that they had their stuff in one of the abandoned buildings that was on Lancaster. They'd been sleeping in there because it was during winter time, and they needed to get their stuff out because somebody had snitched on them. And so, me being the nice person that I am, I decided, okay, let's all go help them. Well, we ended up getting caught by security, and security reported us to the owners of PNS and to the security managers at PNS, and we all ended up getting barred, and that's why I ended up at the UGM, Union Gospel Mission. I first entered the UGM on November 14th of 2008. I think it's like 2 weeks later, on November 28th, I started working in the kitchen, and I love my job in the kitchen. I love working in the kitchen. I'm the type of person that I will put all my heart and soul into a job, no matter if I'm cleaning out dog pens, which I've done, or if I'm greeting people as a receptionist. I will work as hard as I can for everything, and so I love my job in the kitchen. And Miss Betty knows this. And then my boss, Miss Janet, Miss Janet, she told me about the Missions Unlimited program, and because I had gone to school before, and even though I was not a very good student, I loved it. I jumped at the chance to get back into school, and I was literally running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to get all the paperwork done before the semester started. And I started school in the spring of 2000. Okay, now I'm losing track. Okay, I ended the UGM in 2007 and started school in the spring of 2008. I'm sorry, I told you chronological order. I took the classes with Miss Taylor West, and I loved her class. I love her, and I thank her very much for everything that she did for me. She is one of my inspirations and one of my heroes. I love you. After I finished her class, I took as many classes as I could take in a semester because I loved my education so much. I literally love being in school. Some people, they joke with me that I'm going to be a lifetime student because I'm always in school. Okay. I graduated from, as Ms. Jenkins said, I graduated from PCC on May 18th of this year. I was spotlighted by the Chancellor of PCC, and her name escapes me. Okay, everybody knows who I'm talking about. I was spotlighted by her during his graduation ceremony. She even had me come to a little luncheon before the ceremony. You know, in my own little world, I've become very famous, and it's very odd for me. And then I'd already started, by that time I'd already started at Texas Wesleyan in the fall of 2009. When I started at Wesleyan, I was working in the Generation Hope laptop program, which is a program that Wesleyan has to put laptops into the hands of underprivileged children. I was a teacher at Dunbar 6th Grade Center, and I love the kids. I've taught in several other situations before, and I love the kids, but everybody who asks me about my English major, because I am double majoring in English with a concentration in writing and journalism, everyone who asks me about my English major, they're like, you want to be a teacher? I'm like, no. I'm such a stickler for English that I kill the kids. Unless I got them when they're really, really, really little and just learning it, then I'd be good. But if I get the kids from this day and age who talk like they text, yeah, I'd strangle them. It'd be like Homer Simpson and Bart, you know. So, no, what I want to do with my degree is I want to be a book editor. I currently work for the Texas Wesleyan newspaper, The Rambler. I love my job, even though there are times that I want to kill my editor-in-chief. I threaten his lifestyle 5 times a day. I really do love being in school. I really know what I'm going to do when I finish school. I just actually found out last week, either last week or the week before last, I was in my Spanish class, and my teacher was asking us what our classification was. And I told her I was a junior, because that's what I've been for like the last 2 years or whatever. And she's like, she looks at the record, she goes, no, you're a senior. I'm like, what? And you say what? So I went to the admissions office, and I actually found out that I am 1 credit over the amount of credits needed to be a senior. I don't want to be a senior yet. I'm not ready. I moved out of the UGM on March 7th of 2009. Either November of 2008, I found out about a transitional housing program, and I signed up with them, and I was actually notified that I would get my housing on New Year's Eve. And I was at work when they notified me, when my caseworker called me. I was at work. I was at work in the kitchen at the UGM. Literally, I ran through the building screaming. Everybody was like, okay, somebody go get the white coats, you know. I was just so excited, and so I moved into my apartment on March 7th, and I love my apartment, I really do. Ended up moving into another one in the same complex because of some damage, but I still love my apartment. But because it is transitional housing, I'm actually going to be moving out of that one in March or April of next year, and I'm planning on moving on campus at Texas Wesleyan. There's several reasons why I want to do that. I'm a social outcast. I'm socially inept. I don't know how to deal with people in social situations because of the life that I led, the horrors that I went through when I was growing up with the students that I dealt with in school and stuff like that. Up until I met Miss Tasha, I had not had any friends. I did not meet Miss Tasha until I was a senior and she was a junior in high school. So I want to move on campus to be able to be more sociable. I also want to move on campus because I work for the newspaper. It would make it a lot easier for me to get to the office and do stuff that I need to do, like at 2 o'clock in the morning. If I'm having an insomnia attack or whatever like that, I can get to the office and work. And it would cut down on the amount of time that I have to spend on the city bus.